Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. Yeah, this is my actual life right now. Hanging out in Mexico while a gentle rain falls. Wanted to come on here on my balcony and just reflect on this 30-day challenge because we're now over the halfway point, which is really cool. This is the furthest I've gotten in any challenge. Let's start with why I've actually been able to make it this far. I think a big part of it is that I haven't been as attached to the success of each individual video. I knew that my audience could basically handle one, maybe two videos a week in terms of just their capacity to watch me, given how many people are currently engaged, given what I want to talk about, right? Like the Venn diagram of all those things. So I wasn't surprised when individual videos didn't have like the high view counts that I was used to when I made fewer videos. And there still was this sense of like,
oh no, these view counts are really low, especially compared to my number of subscribers.
And instead of letting that actually stop me, I used it as a thing to process. I feel this is the first time I've had as many emotional tools and as much emotional experience doing process work. And as a result, when things would come up and this felt sense of like, oh, no one even cares, no one's watching, I could just be with those feelings instead of saying, well, then I'll just quit this challenge and I'll just, do fewer videos. I did this thing where I asked ChatGPT, based on everything I have ever told you, what's one blind spot that I might have and what's something I should do to solve it? And what ChatGPT said was, you're really focused on external metrics, and I think you should be more focused on the process, right? The creative process and what you're learning as you go on your journey, which I appreciate because, I think of myself as someone who is intentional and self-aware, which they said. They were like,
I know you're very self-aware, girl.
But maybe look at this. And I'm like, okay. And being in a place like Mexico, wow, just seeing the life I've been able to create with my love of making YouTube videos, my love of talking about and supporting other people with their creativity, the healing work I've done, the vulnerability I've been able to meet. Like, this is the life I've been able to create with that. And it's a really, really cool life. Oh, it's starting to rain. I love it here. Oh my goodness. I think another thing too is that I'm not financially dependent on YouTube the way I used to be. So low view counts would threaten that sort of survival, like existential part of me because it was like, oh, how are we going to pay rent if these views are low? So it wasn't just about the view count, it was about a greater sense of survival. And having money from other places makes it so that it gets to just be this creative exploration versus this thing that I'm needing to eat food, which I highly recommend divorcing your creativity from your survival because it totally influences the way you create what you create and your energy as you're creating it. And it's an old pattern to be looking for like, okay, I've got to grow my audience and I've got to get more views and I got to make more money. Like, that's sort of an old way of seeing the world that doesn't actually match my current experience, which is really fun. A little bit of rain is falling on me. Really fun and really beautiful and really blessed and honestly very comfortable, like very cushy. Like, this is the first time in a while that I haven't had an existential fear about where am I going to live next? What's my apartment going to look like? Where am I going to move? How am I going to pay my rent? Now I just get to be here, And I know there's a part of me that's like, well, I promised that I would keep making these YouTube videos. So even though I recognize that part of me who made that promise is a different me, I am still going to make it because it's fun and I've gotten so much out of it so far. It creates this challenge, right? This challenge of showing up, continuing to find the fun in it, continuing to try new things with it, and getting to have this really cool record. And I keep getting messages around the importance of being instead of doing, which I also already know. And I'm committed to doing this 30-day challenge. So what it looks like to balance that is that I'm gonna relax a little bit in terms of how long I think the videos have to be, how much effort I think I need to pour into them. Though I feel like for the first half, I was doing a lot of sitting on my bed. So don't know how effortful that was. But we know the consistency of editing and uploading and making the thumbnails and all of this, it adds up, right? Another thing that's really helped me with this challenge is actually giving myself permission to be creative. So I thought the effort that I put into previous videos when I've tried these challenges before, like the amount of editing and time things took, the amount of time it took to script and to schedule things, I thought that's what led to the burnout. like it was the work that led to the burnout, but it's only ever the energy that leads to the burnout, right? When the energy isn't aligned, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Eventually, it's gonna burn you out because you're not doing what naturally brings you energy. And so instead of simply just doing the videos in my bedroom and just like sitting on my bed and talking, I was like, what if we started playing around with the hooks, right? What if we started thinking about creative ways to structure the video in the beginning? What if we started recording in different places? What if we use technology that we've literally had for months and months and never used before, right? And as a result, every video gets to be interesting to me because it's new for me, right? I get bored watching my own videos if it's the same thing over and over again. So I don't know why I would expect an audience member to be as engaged when I don't even hold my own attention. And I realized that's key, is there's certain videos that I want to watch. Like I'm excited for it to go live because I knew I had fun making it and I knew I did some fun editing tricks or I did something fun with the storytelling. And so I'm like, ooh, I want to see how this cuts together. There's other videos where I'm like, I'm just making this for the challenge. And we know it's the energy behind the thing that's most important. And I'm really glad I learned that because a lot of people set out to do some kind of daily video challenge and do not complete it. And the fact that I'm feeling pretty confident about completing it, I think speaks to a lot of the work I've been able to do. And I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful that I get to do this, that there are people who watch. Wow, and that I get to share my experience with people because I know that this is probably something they want, is to be a creator just like this. Oh, I love this. I really feel so blessed that I get to be here. And I know that's something that I used to dream about. That's something that I know a lot of people dream about. And the fact that it's my reality, I really am blown away.